winter weather hits Elon. We have full coverage of the year's first storm.
And as the investigation into Pi Kappa Phi continues, we spoke to Dean Smith-Jackson on hazing and the state of Greek life at Elon.
And the new flavor being brought to Burlington by an Elon alum. Thank you for tuning in to Elon Local News. I'm Gary Grumbach.
And I'm Jasmine Turner. North Carolina is under a state of emergency tonight due to winter weather conditions. Elon classes ended earlier than usual today. Any class after 3:30 p.m. was canceled due to inclement weather. As of right now, classes tomorrow will operate under a revised schedule starting at 10 a.m. Classes will meet for 1 hour and 15 minutes. All campus dining options are now closed except for Acorn, Fountain Market, and Lakeside. For a complete class schedule, visit elonlocalnews.com. And for updates throughout the night, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Elon Local News.
Our team has been closely following the weather and #ElonSnow. With snow starting around 4:30, Eric Halpern joins us now from downtown Elon, where he's been following the school's preparation for the storm. Eric?
Gary, as you can see, the snow has been falling, and also mixing in with this snow is a good amount of ice. And as you know, ice is a little bit bigger of a problem. With more ice, there's a greater chance for power outages, so charge your phones, charge your laptops, and make sure your cars have gas in them. Earlier today, I met with Elon Physical Plant to see how they were prepping for the storm and how they're going to clean up campus over the next couple of days. From attaching salt spreaders to their carts, snow plows, and snow brushes on their lawnmowers, lead groundskeeper Matt Kirkman says Physical Plant will have around 25 pieces of equipment working on campus tonight.
We've got the same crew, so everybody kind of knows what's going to happen and when. And it makes it a lot easier when everybody's on board and knows the process.
Kirkman says this mower will be one of Physical Plant's most important pieces of equipment. But this afternoon it was not working because of the extreme cold.
Oh, God.
He says because of the mower's size, it will make cleaning walkways around campus easier. But it's the attitude of the crew that will make snow cleanup fun.
We have a handful of people that love to joke and play around. It don't matter what time of day it is, and they really do help keep the morale up. And, when you're laughing and having a good time, it makes it a lot better.
As for who makes the call on classes tomorrow, Provost Dr. Stephen House says it's one of his favorite parts of the job.
You know you have power when you are the guy that gets to determine whether classes should be running or not.
While the call on classes will come around 6 a.m. tomorrow, Kirkman says he would be happy if every day were snowy. While the cleanup is tough work, he says it's the students that make the hard work worth it.
A lot of them are very nice and say thank you when they're walking by, and that goes a long ways for us.
Even in that last minute, the ice started to pick up out here, and Kirkman told me that the more ice there is the worst case scenario for Elon. If you remember back to last March with the ice storm, there were limbs and trees and power outages all over campus. So we certainly would like to avoid that as much as possible. Now we're going to go back inside to Perry Elliott Durrani, who has the rest of this week's forecast.
Thanks, Eric. It doesn't look like we'll be getting that warm weather we had last week anytime soon. This chill will continue throughout the week. Expect to see snow beginning to fall before 8 tonight, and according to the National Weather Service, accumulate up to 1 to 3 inches overnight tomorrow morning. You can expect some sleet mixed in there. The rest of the week doesn't promise snow, but it will definitely feel like it. The temperatures will not get much higher than 32 this week and will drop as low as 5 degrees Wednesday and Thursday night. If you take the roads this week, be sure to use caution and keep an eye out for ice. If you have to spend time outside, a heavy jacket will be your new best friend. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning in Alamance County for the next 2 days, so be careful. Back to you, Jasmine and Gary.
Joining us now is Preston Willett, who has been closely following the school's investigation of the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity. Preston, what's the latest on this?
Thanks, Jasmine. Dean of Students Smith-Jackson says the hazing investigation of Pi Kappa Phi should conclude within the next 2 weeks. Dean Jackson told ELN the university does not want to put a concrete timeline on the investigation because ELN wants the investigation to be as thorough as possible. The university is also not releasing information on how ELN officials were made known of the alleged hazing allegations, as the university does not want to compromise the investigation. In the meantime, Pi Kappa Phi's activities have been suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. Dean Jackson said ELN does not take alleged hazing lightly.
This does not support brotherhood, to be hazing someone, to be doing something that, puts them in a position of any kind of discomfort or disrespect. So the national, they don't think this is cool at all. And again, I would say, I think most of your fraternity, sorority members would say this is not something that they want to be associated with.
This is the second hazing investigation ELN has conducted this school year. The first known investigation was a Sigma Pi the fraternity to comment on the situation. Chapter President Eric Burgess said that the fraternity has been made known of the situation and is cooperating with university and national Pi Kappa Phi officials. Gary, back to you.
We apologize for those technical difficulties, but thank you, Preston. Flags are in Denmark and are at half staff today following two separate shootings this weekend in the capital city of Copenhagen that left 2 dead. Danish police have charged 2 men suspected of helping the gunmen who carried out 2 shooting attacks this weekend. In the first incident, armed men opened fire on a Copenhagen cafe Saturday where a debate on Islam and free speech was being held. The second incident occurred 10 hours later. Shots were fired near a synagogue when a person approached 2 police officers and began shooting. Elon Jr. Shelby Lewis is studying abroad in Copenhagen and shared her experience following the attacks.
I got into the city right after the first shooting happened. I got there about 10 o'clock at night and everybody was freaking out. The train stations were empty.
The 2 suspects were taken into custody and charged with providing and disposing of a murder weapon and helping the murderer flee after the attacks.
The price to attend ELN is going up. Next year, students could be writing a $43,000 check to attend the university. For next school year, students can expect to pay 3% more for tuition. Here's the breakdown. Tuition will go up to $31,773. Room and board together will cost just under $11,000. SGA and health fees will stay at $399. Altogether, a potential total of $43,170. In an email to ELN parents, President Leo Lambert said this was the smallest percentage in 27 years. For total dollar increase, President Lambert says this is the smallest since 2002. Voting for SGA elections starts tomorrow morning, but not many people are running. Out of the nearly 40 positions students can vote for, of those, 4 are contested races. Sophomore class senator, sophomore class vice president, Love School of Business representative, and executive president. All other candidates are running unopposed, and there are no candidates running for senior class board. It's the job of the elected president to fill these positions by appointment or nominations. Current student body president Joe Incorvia says he thinks part of the reason for lack of participation is students don't realize the influence SGA has on campus.
You really won't see another university like ELN in the sense that the administration comes to SGA with every single major decision that they make on this campus. And I mean every single one.
You might remember 2 of SGA's biggest decisions this year included the passing of the Acorn Fund, a $200,000 program that gives money to student entrepreneurs, and its $110,000 allocation for the new recreation center in Danley.
You can cast your vote in this year's SGA elections tomorrow morning through Wednesday at 5 p.m. But before you do, be sure to log on to elonlocalnews.com to watch all of the candidate speeches and the presidential debate. We'll have full results following the election on Wednesday.
The Williamson Avenue Railroad crossing is back open after being closed since 9 a.m. this morning. Crews from Duke Energy spent the day updating and repairing the crossing, including replacing the telephone poles. Students could still cross the tracks if they were walking, but drivers were detoured through Wooddale Avenue and Ballpark Avenue.
Tonight, the Alamance County Board of Commissioners is considering a fund to propose for a proposed World Trade Center memorial in the county. The design for the memorial was approved in September. The proposed memorial would have a piece of steel taken from the former World Trade Center Tower 2 and depict emergency responders lifting the donated steel. Tonight, the board will discuss how to finance the estimated cost, just under $13,000. The assistant county manager says that most of the money will be able to be raised through fundraising.
Yesterday was the final deadline to sign up for health care through the Affordable Care Act for 2015 for most of the country. However, some states like Rhode Island and New York have extended their deadlines due to winter weather conditions. The federal government also prolonged due dates with no word yet on when the final deadline will occur. U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Sylvia Burwell set a nationwide target of 9.1 million people to sign up by yesterday.
Next on ELN, winter is coming. We'll have some tips on how to take care of your car in the cold.
And find out how one Elon student is getting the hilarious opportunity of a lifetime.
And today is President's Day. Look for our presidential trivia questions going on in and out of breaks. You might just learn a new fun fact, so here's our first one.
Back to Elon Local News, here's the answer to our first trivia question. According to DC Police, Ulysses S. Grant was stopped by police for speeding on his buggy on M Street. The police impounded his buggy, and the fine for speeding at the time was $5. We apologize for all technical difficulties, and all full stories will be online on elonlocalnews.com.
I wish the fine was still $5, but traffic and parking fines at Elon are definitely higher these days, as are car repairs. Here's Sky Cowens with some tips to protect your car during winter weather.
Thanks, Jasmine. Looks like we will be seeing some more hashtag Elon Ice this year. Here are some cheap and easy ways you can care for your car during the harsh winter weather. If you're in a pinch and you find yourself without an ice scraper, you can use a credit card instead. Just make sure not to use anything metal or glass, or you could scratch your windows. When faced with a frozen lock, you can use a straw to blow on the lock to thaw it out. You could also take a lighter and heat the car key, which will help it slide more easily into the lock. And to prevent your doors from freezing shut, spray down their edges with cooking oil and then rub them down with a paper towel. Now, if your car still ends up covered in ice, give the hood an open palm whack and watch the ice fall off. And whatever you do, never, ever use hot water to melt ice on your windows, or you'll end up with a very large repair bill. For more tips on winter car care and to see the full BuzzFeed article I got all this info from, check out our Twitter. Looking out for the college consumer, I'm Sky Cowens.
Construction in the Danley Center area left flats without running water yesterday for nearly 12 hours. Water came back at around 4:45 p.m. yesterday. The construction was causing the water turnoff is a new recreational center. Danielle Commons will also be getting a new dining option, the Einstein Bagel Company. University architect Brad Moore says the new rec center will not be like the typical brick buildings on campus.
We're trying to manage the cost by building that as a metal building. So it'll be a little bit different than a typical building on our college campus in that it will still be attractive and still look appropriate to campus.
Moore says the building will be ready in fall 2015.
Instead of Elon's usual maroon and gold, purple might be a color that you will see around campus this week. Colleges Against Cancer is painting the campus purple to support the American Cancer Society. Multiple events will be held throughout the week to benefit the cause. The week kicked off today with a photo booth and free hot chocolate in the Mosley Center, and tomorrow there will be a fundraiser at Fat Frog Trivia. Wednesday, there's a Pandora's Pies profit share and s'mores with survivors. For more on Paint the Campus Purple Week, see our Facebook page.
Student comedian Pal Mansfield is opening for Saturday Night Live alum Nassim Pedrad Wednesday, and that's no joke. After a successful show with Sub in August, the Student Union Board called Mansfield about opening for Pedrad. Mansfield says he feels humbled and thrilled to have this opportunity, and he will see it as a chance to learn from the professional comic.
Will honestly be more rejuvenated knowing that she's there watching or just in the same room. That's really gonna light me up and get me going, so I'm really excited to see what happens.
You can see Mansfield and Padra perform Wednesday night in McCrary Theater at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7:30. If you still need a ticket, stop by the sub-office in Mosley 207. And when we come back, find out how an Elon alum is bringing the taste of the Bayou to Burlington.
And Valentines are not just for people anymore. Find out how some found a new love over the weekend.
As we go to commercial break, we have another President's Day trivia question for you. Here it is.
And we're back with your answer to the President's Day trivia question. Woodrow Wilson is the only president with a PhD. According to the White House website, after graduating Princeton and the University of Virginia Law School, Wilson earned his doctorate at Johns Hopkins University. He later served as president of Princeton. In 1948, the school renamed their School of International Affairs after Wilson.
It looks like one local bar is here for another round. The newest bar in Elon has only been open for a month, and Tony's Subs and Pub has had no trouble fitting into the Elon scene. Since opening, owner Tony Caruso says the bar has had a steady flow of customers, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays when they have drink specials. To accommodate for the increase in customers, Tony's added an extra bar on busy nights, hired more bartenders, and added more cash registers. Caruso says Tony's success comes from its popularity among Elon students.
They knew we were coming, I believe, and they've came to us pretty good, pretty easy.
Another Elon bar will be changing as well. West End Terrace owner Harold Hill told ELN in a statement the bar is striving towards a gastropub environment where the Elon community can come together. They will have a seasonal menu changes and launching a new quick service menu this week. For a full list of the changes, visit our website at elonlocalnews.com.
Most people spent Valentine's Day with the people they love, but this Valentine's Day, others spent it with a different kind of cuddle buddy. This weekend, Burlington Animal Services held a pet adoption special, allowing interested pet owners to adopt any dog or cat for half the usual price. Christine was one visitor who signed the papers to adopt a new furry friend.
It's the best thing in the world because they'll be ever so grateful to you. They'll be the best friend you've ever wanted.
According to the Pet Adoption Center, 41 animals were adopted this weekend.
If you're looking for something new to eat off campus, ours or Stevenson, check out a Louisiana-style restaurant right down the road just in time for Mardi Gras.
Elon graduate and Burlington native Hunt Ward is on a new mission to give his hometown a new flavor.
There's not a good Cajun restaurant in Burlington, for one.
Ward says he wants people to feel welcome when they come to Mel's Good Times Cafe, which he bought in November.
It's all about good food, good friends while having a good time.
He describes the atmosphere at Mel's as a throwback to a different era.
The set is very much like Happy Days, right out of Happy Days, the 50s. It's a real cool family-oriented environment.
Owner Hunt Ward wanted to utilize all 8,000 square feet. So what did he do? He created 2 restaurants. Right now we're in Mel's Good Times Cafe, but as I walk forward, we're gonna be in Wicked Mojo Bar and Grill, a different type of atmosphere.
When you come into our Wicked Mojo Bar and Grill, we step it up a little bit with a New Orleans themed sports bar.
Mel's and Wicked Mojo sells everything from burgers to ice cream to Cajun seafood. I went back to the kitchen and tasted some of the cuisine for myself.
Absolutely.
Gumbo, he says I can't have it without rice. So
yeah, you got to have a little rice.
In there.
Got to have a little rice in there.
Delicious. Delicious. Tastes like my mom's. And Ward makes sure everyone gets a taste.
We have free Cajun sampling of our food and soups. Just ask when you come in.
Good Times is located in the Holly Hill Mall on Huffman Mill Road, just 5 minutes from campus. Zora Stevenson, Elon, Local News.
Good Times will be throwing a Fat Tuesday party tomorrow for Mardi Gras. And it's opening weekend for baseball, brought in a couple wins for the start of the season. See how the Phoenix fared in sports coming up.
Opening weekend for the Elon baseball team. Not the best weather to start the season, with temperatures ranging from 20 to 40 degrees during the Phoenix 3-game set against Penn State. Elon went a perfect 3-0, sweeping the Nittany Lions. The Phoenix pitching had strong showing, striking out a combined 19 Penn State batters. But it was the Elon offense that was the talk of the weekend, scoring 34 runs during its 3 games. Chris King led all batters with 8 runs batted in and hit the only home run for Elon the weekend. The Phoenix returned to Latham Park.
First week of the season, we talked last night about pitching needing to get better, and they stepped up today, did great, and our hitting was exactly the same as it was. And it was just overall great team baseball today, and got 2 wins in the sweep.
The Phoenix returned to Latham Park on Wednesday to face local rival High Point at 4 p.m. Over in Alumni Gym, the women's basketball team entered Sunday's game against Hofstra, ranked 3rd in CAA standings. Both teams came out sporting pink as part of the annual Play for K game, recognizing former Elon women's basketball coach Kay Yao. Yao helped start the women's hoops program in Elon in the 1970s before leaving for NC State, where she coached for 34 years. She died of breast cancer in 2009. Moving on to the game, Elon got off to a hot start but struggled to stop the surging Pride late in the first half. In the second half, Hofstra made 42% of the shots from the field and got the better of the Phoenix. The Pride took the lead with just 5 seconds remaining to steal a 55-53 win. With the loss, Elon drops to 5th in the CAA standings. The Phoenix now head to Boston for Thursday night tip-off against Northeastern. On Saturday, men's basketball team faced off against the JMU Dukes in Alumni Gym. Elon started strong in the first half, taking an early lead, but it would not be enough to top the Dukes, as Elon fell 86-75. It was one of Elon's better offensive showings, as the Phoenix shot 43% and had 19 assists. But Elon had trouble on defense, as the Dukes shot 61%. Elon was led by Austin Hamilton, who had 16 points for the Phoenix. They may not be the stars on the court, but they helped the men's basketball team through the course of the season. Our Justin Beagle has a story.
You see them at the end of the players' bench, handing out water and cleaning up sweat. They're the Elon men's basketball managers, and they keep the team running.
We help rebound the balls. We help facilitate all the drills. Wipe up the sweat, make sure everybody has water, just make sure everybody has everything they need.
While it may seem like fun to be surrounded by Coach Matheny and the players, it requires more than just showing up for games and practices.
I think I can speak for all the managers where you have to absolutely love basketball in order to be willing to get up every day and do this job.
I think a lot of it people wouldn't classify as fun, but at the end of the day I go home and say I had a fun day.
They may not be the stars on the court, but the managers do get an inside look at the team that the media and the fans never get to see.
Here we get to see everything from recruiting to the statistics to the film work to the coaches' meetings to the pregame meals to every little thing that goes into winning a basketball game.
And balancing classes and basketball is no slam dunk.
Definitely don't have much free time. So it's really just you're losing just all your free time. We're taking just as many classes as everybody else, but instead of going home in the afternoon and people being able to do their homework in the afternoons and then going out at night, sometimes we have to wait until 9, 10 o'clock to start our homework.
But despite the long hours and minimal compensation, the Elon basketball managers say it's the job of a lifetime.
Being able to come and be on a basketball court for work every day, whether it's 3 hours a day or not, it's a pretty cool experience. Not many people can say that that's their job on campus.
Justin Beagle, Elon Local News.
Our Elon managers won against JMU 71-62. That's all for sports this week, but be sure to follow us on Twitter at ELN Sports and on Facebook.
Thanks, Brianna. That's all we have for you this Monday for Elon Local News.
But we're always online on elonlocalnews.com.
And tonight we have a little bit of fun before we go. It's snowing outside, and we know that puns, what better way to end our show?
Snow way, snow way.
Snow doubt.
Snow my goodness.
Snow never bothered me.
And of snow course, there's snow business like snow business. Thanks for joining us.